So, like, the first act of the movie, honestly, I think the first 20 minutes completely should have been cut. The only reason they have baby Diana in the movie is like, oh, isn't she so cute as a kid, even though she's not a great actor?
Hello, Mother. How are you today?
Like, look at her, she's all baby and, like, she wants to be a hero. And her mom's like, you don't need to know things, but here's the story of the gods. Why can't you open the movie with just the painting of, like, the gods and the backstory, and then it cuts to her as a teenager? Start the movie when she's a fucking teenager.
I'm not saying I disagree with you. I'm just saying that, like, I understand why they did it, for, like, world building and showing off the mascara.
Yeah.
I don't mind that, because it's pretty.
But, like, one of, like, the plot points is, like, the mom, like, oh, you can't, like, learn how to be a warrior. That's, like, you're gonna get in, like, trouble and stuff. And the aunt, like, she catches, like, she secretly trains with her aunt, and, like, the one time the mom catches him, she's like, what the fuck? And she's like, well, she's gonna have to learn how to fight someday. And she's like,
you will train her harder than any Amazon before her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck was the point of the mom not wanting her to fight?
That was very cool.
Because it's just resolved in the next scene.
Yeah.
There's nothing coming from it. She could just be reluctant to let her train, but does.
Yeah.
But you don't need a fucking side story for that.
So, I think the movie stops right in the conference room. That's when I feel like the pacing just drops. Especially during the restaurant scene and the fireplace scene. I was like, come on, get this over with. Because I don't care that Charlie Chaplin has, like, freaking PTSD.
I don't like that because it never goes anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, they set it up like, oh, he has, like, PTSD and, like, he can't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's never a moment where, like, he does. Like, oh my god, he's able to shoot. I feel like you're setting something up there and you just didn't do it.
Yeah.
I think after watching it a couple of times, like, the first act kind of dips a little bit. It's fine. It's some parts need to just be taken out or sped up.
Mm-hmm.
Second act overall, I think, is pretty good. The third act, just no.
Slow as.
It's not even slow. It's just bad. They just do a lot of stupid mistakes that, like, they could set up, and they just shit on their morals. And I think they had something, they just don't do anything.
I mean, I like the village getting destroyed. That was pretty cool.
That's fine. Because I guess, like, that kind of, like, leads to, like, now I have to kill the bad guy. And, like, now she's mad at Steve because, like, you're the reason why the village blew up. It creates, like, their, like, tension and everything.
But, that said, that was resolved way too easily.
It was like, no,
she's
let's follow
like,
her.
You're the Aries. All of you guys are Aries. And then, like, she rides off to go kill him. And then he's, like, following, hey, Diana! He's that way. It's like, oh, you guys are friends again? Like, did she just, like, push you away?
My favorite part of the movie is when Steve and Diana are together. Yeah. Like, just, you watch them together as the movie goes on, their chemistry, and, like, the relationship blossoming. Until, sadly, he has to die. Steve has probably one of the better character deaths in, like, comic book movies and, like, stuff like that. I think his send-off is very well done. It builds up your emotions, but doesn't hold it for too long to where it's like, okay, just fucking pull the trigger already.
Yeah.
Because now I'm just sitting here waiting. The little hesitation before he pulls the trigger is a nice touch. I think I asked you this already. So, is the sword not supposed to be obviously a twist? Like, is she supposed to not be obviously the god weapon, the god killer?
Right. Like, it is supposed to be a twist.
Okay, did you assume she was?
Yeah, I assume so because, you know, I'm not stupid.
Right. I found out, like, I had a couple of friends who didn't know that, like, oh no, I didn't think it, like, I thought the killer was the god killer. I was like, really? Because it kind of gave it away because they're trying to be, like, hint, when she's like a little tiny bad actress baby, and she's like,
I'm the god killer?
what? Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, that's the god killer. Like, so it's not the god killer.
Right. And also just like...
And they never name the god killer ever.
Yeah.
It's never specified, so obviously it's supposed to be like, oh, what?
Right, and just like the whole, like, dialogue hints, like, should we tell her the truth? Like, oh,
Yeah.
she's gonna find out someday. Like,
Yeah,
well,
she's not supposed to know what she is or whatever. So my last thing when it comes to the story of Wonder Woman is the ending.
Mm-hmm.
It clearly has like a moral thing they're trying to guide you towards when Chris Pine is all like... So like Diana like kills Ludendorff thinking it's Ares, and she looks around and like the soldiers still loading up the gas in the plane, and she's like, what the fuck? Why would they do this? I killed Ares. And Steve is like...
They can stop fighting now. Why are they still fighting?
That's because maybe it's them. Maybe people aren't always good. Ares or no Ares. Maybe it's who they are. It's not about deserve. It's not. Maybe we don't. But it's not about that. It's about what you believe. You don't think I get it after what I've seen out there? You don't think I wish I could tell you that it was one bad guy to blame? It's not. We're all to blame. I'm not. But maybe I am.
And at first, when I watched it, I was like, whoa, this movie's interesting. We're going to have a comic book movie where it's not going to end a big fiery fight. And it's just, it's a question, and she has to learn from that. So I thought she was going to wait and be like, maybe they're right, and she's going to help them out anyway. Nope. In the end, she just killed the wrong guy. And there's like, after the fight, the guys are like all hugging and stuff at the end. After she kills Ares, no one wants to fight anymore. Now, in the movie, they did establish the war was close to being over. And it's more of those guys just being so relieved
that they didn't get...
They didn't fucking blow up.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
After you introduce
adding
Ares,
that to the movie doesn't do anything. Because now you're just mixing the messages. I get that they're separate, but when the movie is edited that way, you're kind of fucking yourself over in the moral you were trying to go towards. Because now you're saying, like, oh, well, these guys are all cool, right after she blew up Ares. Editorial-wise, that's a very dumb thing to do if you're trying to get across 2 points.
Right. To me, same point, but there's a problem with all the rest of the continuity in DCU because you set it up as if Ares really was the cause of it. You know, he didn't do the actions, but he did whisper in their ears. Which means he is an influence. So with him dead, does that mean all of the influence is gone?
Right.
And like...
where the new influences come from.
Right. So you really like just set yourself up with more questions that need to be answered.
And that to me, that's like totally what makes the movie from like, this is actually a pretty solid movie. The big games also, and I don't really like the last fight scene, but like that one part kind of made me go like, you almost had me. You almost had me.
Yeah.
It's good, but this leads to the last subject of the review. So I understand, as a straight white male, I think I understand how this movie works.
Oh, here we go.
No. So this movie is constantly, like, rated as, like, one of the best superhero movies of all time.
It's not.
It's not. And I know this because I've seen a lot of fucking superhero movies.
It's up there.
Would
like
I put it in my top 10? Maybe, but probably not. Top 15? Like, it could probably get in the top 15.
I could squeeze it in the top 10. If I'm really being picky.
Out of all the movies we've seen so far, it's one of the better ones. But we've also watched a lot of shit.
Right.
It's
better than the Blade series, for sure.
It's better than the Blade series. I would say Dark Knight, Batman Begins are still better. And, like, just rated-wise, I know, like, Rotten Tomatoes isn't actually important when it comes to, like, its ratings and stuff, but that's what, like, people who don't watch movies go by. And this movie has, like, a 92 or, like, a 93%. And it's, like, you have movies like Spider-Man 2 and Dark Knight who have, like, 94%. And Iron Man who has, like, a 90%. Right. It's, like, when people see that, to them, it's like, wow, this movie's, like, as good as them. And it's not. I would say, like, because I think... if you, just in a simple form, I think you can tell the quality of the movie compared to the other superhero movies that it's judged with. So, like, you have, like, Dark Knight, where, like, all 3 acts are really solid, and they really help the story all together. Same thing with Spider-Man 2 I would say Iron Man, for the most part, we'll get to that, is similar. But this movie has, like, an okay first act, a pretty good second act, and then, like, a bad third act. And just by that alone, I can't confidently say, oh, it's, like, it's definitely in the top 10.
Yeah. It is a fun ride. And a great showing for Patty Jenkins.
Yes.
Great showing for Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. But not... It is a better showing for DC, considering their other movies. Well, is it a step in the right direction?
Yeah.
Yes.
But, I mean, from the direction they were going before
Right.
this? Yeah.
Yes. But I think that's why this movie is so overhyped.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, finally a DC movie that we can all enjoy.
I think it's the fact that it was, like, the first woman superhero movie that was actually good. Because before there was
Right.
Supergirl, Elektra, and Catwoman. And none of those are even close to being okay.
Right.
This one's actually decent. It's the first DC movie since Man of Steel started that was like, oh, wow, like, okay. A good amount of people actually do like this movie, and critics like it, and audiences are equally liking it. I think with those two factors together, that made this movie be like, you have to see this movie. It's amazing. It's great. It's one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Right.
Because you can sell it so easily with those two factors. And I'm happy we finally have a good female superhero movie. It took way too long to fucking get one. Out of we have so many female superheroes. I'm upset that Marvel never made a Black Widow movie at this point. Because, I mean, you could have made a good one, or at least a decent one before Wonder Woman, but they just didn't. I mean, if Winter Soldier can be as good as it was, there's no reason you could make an espionage Hawkeye and Black Widow if just a solo Black Widow movie. So, our final rating for Wonder Woman. Yeah, just good. Good.
Frustrating.
So, next time we're gonna take a break from DC and go a little Marvel for a while. Bye!